What's going on, everybody? It's Ron Brown, LMT, the People's Fitness Professional, alongside my co-host,
Mikey Fever.
and this is a New Yorker's perspective. Before we go and introduce our guest, uh, I want to say this: for this podcast today, I'm gonna go by my righteous name, which is I Supreme God Allah. I Supreme God Allah, or I Supreme Allah. All right, we got the earth in the building, so let's build. Today's mathematics is knowledge, power, or refinement. We're not arguing about that.
Yay!
Knowledge, power, refinement, born equality, or being born
Yeah, that
equality.
all being boys to be a
Whatever you want to say. As
I heard people flip
long as
about
the
that.
math add up.
That's right.
No
So
cipher.
we got now. Did you just say non-cipher?
I said now cipher. That's what I
Oh,
said.
okay, all right, all
You
right.
know they,
Just
you know they be
checking,
like
just
they be
checking,
like
just checking.
they ready to
Don't
go. They
say
like
that.
Don't say non-cipher.
yeah.
No.
We got the earth, the true and living earth.
Peace.
Sarima, understanding earth in the building. She makes the crowns for the gods and a bunch of other stuff too. I would assume, right?
Indeed.
Indeed. So we got some questions for the earth. This is our first time doing this. Had to get the earth on to talk about, just to introduce herself and get the world to see a true and living girl, true and living girl, true and living earth, true and living.
Understood.
Pardon me, I'm reading the questions at the same time. True and living earth, to see and hear the true and living earth. And this is the first time we're doing this on this platform. How do you feel tonight, Earth?
I feel really great, and I really appreciate you having me on your podcast. It's when I actually came into the knowledge, the first thing I was doing, I went online because everything's social media at the point. So I was going online. I was like, where the earth? Where the earth? I want to see the earth. I want to see the earth. And so I really appreciate that you having the earths come out and
Mhm.
to be able to build so that other sisters who are interested in the knowledge they can see firsthand on other sisters who are here.
Exactly, exactly. That was my idea for this,
Mhm.
and I really want to encourage other Earths to come out or come on this platform and speak and, just add on, just build and add on. So, with no further ado, let's just go right into the questions. Before I go into all the questions, I want to ask, uh, what's the meaning of MGT and GCC? I want to go into that.
Okay.
Okay, so MGT and GCC in the Nation of Islam is that it's the Nation of Islam, right? So we're not the Nation of Islam. We're the 5% Nation of gods and earths. Now we don't have a setup, so to speak, like they would have as far as MGT and GCC. So how do you see MGT and GCC, and how do you you know do you teach yourself? Do you deal with different books, or let's go into that question.
Okay. Well, MGT, how they have Muslim girl training and general civilization classes, I see that as Master God training, God civilization class. So, it's we're separate, even though, we the lessons have came from from the temple.
Mhm,
However, we're bringing it into reality
mhm,
to this point.
mhm.
So, MGT, to break down the quote to degree, is it says Muslim girl training and general civilization classes.
Right.
This is the name given to the women and girls in North America who
Mhm.
belong to Islam, teaching them how to keep a home, how to raise their children, how to keep their
Keep
husbands,
their
keep their husbands. So cooking in general, how to act at home and abroad.
how to
This
act
training
at home and
and
abroad.
abroad. That's another one we can go into.
Yeah.
I'm ready because I have a lot I want to go into on that.
Right.
And it's going to say these training units are named by Prophet WZ Farad.
Right.
So now when we go to MGT and GCC, a lot of that sometimes we learn from home. Being a woman, we learn from our mothers. You know, I was blessed to be around my grandmother a lot, so she showed me how to sew. She showed me how to sew with the paper napkin
Mm.
and a sew, yeah, to make pockets. So that's how I learned how to sew. Was just the regular needle and thread, and she used paper napkins, and she showed me how to go in and out and be able to make a pocket.
Mm.
So that's important, especially our black women. We coming up into the world certain times, our mothers are not present. Mothers could be working a lot to keep the home together.
Hmm.
So it becomes it's important that we should spend more time with our women, because growing up, as we are going to now, we have the music. We have Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, and they're not speaking about nothing positive at all. So that's conditioning us, or even the younger women. They want to be like them. They want to have the short pants. They want to get all this type of surgery going on. They want to, scream and yell out and things like that. So, um, I feel like there's certain things that has to be discussed.
Hmm.
A lot of more um, women coming together to try to teach these women while they're young, so
Hmm.
they know what's ahead of them.
Right. Right. So
Beautiful.
right now, so to teach them how to keep a husband, to
Yes.
keep a husband. So where do you learn how to keep a husband? How did you, when you look at that degree, and how did you learn? How do you get an understanding of that degree?
I've I looked at my mother and my stepfather at the time. She was working, he was working. She was showing me, how to make certain meals. And growing up, I learned from other women, grandmothers. you know I learned from them. I actually learned how to crochet from a grandmother, not my grandmother, but she was an older woman in
Hmm.
the neighborhood. And I seen her crocheting. I had to been no more about like 12, 13 years old. And
Hmm.
so I looked at her and I was like, oh, I want to learn too. And she embraced me. And we're not doing a lot of that. We're not doing a lot of embracing. So when it comes to how to keep a husband, we a lot of us don't learn that.
Hmm.
And so as we go into relationships, we learn all different types of different personalities, and we start to become more distant, being not tending to our husbands or our man.
Hmm.
So that right there, it can come from either books. I've read a book, a very important book, Sister Shahrazad Ali.
Yeah.
um that book right there. And
Real.
actually, my God introduced me to it. I've seen it, and and I said a lot of people was like going. They was really like battling her, and I was wondering. I
Yeah.
was like, well, what's going on? I went and read the book. I actually purchased it and read the book, and I will say some of that brought tears to my eyes, because I never realized that some of that stuff that I was going through growing up as a young woman. And she displayed everything. She laid it out, and she didn't leave nothing. She didn't leave nothing at all.
Hmm.
And I feel like the woman should be reading that too. Not only is the black man's guide to understanding the black woman, the black woman needs to read that book as well.
Mm.
Peace.
And that shows a lot about the MGT and GCC in that book.
That's a fact. Can I say something,
Oh,
Sister? Peace. I
Yeah.
have to ask you a question. I'm glad you brought that book up because I know she has two volumes. She has the one
yes.
for the brothers and one for the sisters. I read the one to understand the black woman, and I'm not gonna lie, that book it hit me too because I learned a lot from my past eras, and I was like,
Hmm.
yo, that's where that come from, because they come with their psychology from what they were taught, what they were learned, and we seeing what we learned from our mothers and some of the women within our lifestyles that we encountered. We pick up certain perspectives from them that jaded our views. But
That's a fact.
I'm glad you brought that author up because I'm looking to purchase the next one she has. I know she has two volumes of that. So
She has the black woman's guide to understanding the black man, and
yeah,
I
share
have that
that.
too. And it's a pretty thick book.
Yeah,
It's pretty thick, and it goes into the beginning of the black boy growing up.
yeah,
And the woman needs to read that too, so that she can have an understanding of what the brothers is going through and how that's being processed down a generation to generation.
yeah.
Mhm.
So
That's
yeah,
deep.
it's a heavy book. I'm into a little bit of it, but I have to purchase another one. I can't find it, so
Yo, that
I have
happened to me too.
it's like you get books and you're like, oh, what happened to it? It's gone.
Yeah,
So I recommend that to sisters growing up, like coming up. I would
yeah,
recommend that to read them. Some of them might screw their face up, because I'm gonna tell you that she has stuff in there, and I was like, you're right. And you can't deny it. It's not like she was sitting there trying to beat up the black woman. She
Mhm.
wasn't. She was just being truthful. It's just that people didn't understand the current that she was in. And she was serious about it.
Exactly.
Mhm.
That's peace.
Indeed.
Now, the biggest one of the biggest conversations online is male and female relationships. So that's why, like, I want to expound more on keeping a husband, right? Now, of course, we deal with equality in this nation too. So if she has to keep a husband, the man has to keep the woman too.
That's right. It's a two-way.
Right.
It's communication. It's a lot of stuff to go deep into it to keep, because you have to keep the relationships going, and it's not just all from him, not all from her. It's coming together to make it work and to compromise and to put out, what you feel is what you feel that they need to work on. Certain things some people don't realize that. Say, hey, I feel like you need to work on this. you know and I'll be honest, a lot of us women don't like that. We don't like it. We'll
Yeah.
sit there, we rebel, like, oh well, sometimes, I feel like I'm doing good, and just
Mm.
take it for what it is, and correct yourself, and things will be a lot better.
Right. Okay. This is my own personal thing. I'm just getting personal, being transparent. Um, Now, you could just whatever opinion you have on this, I'm open to it. I'm an active person, right? I'm active, working out, blah 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 blah, right? I get with a woman, right? I would think that a woman would expect me to think that they are going to be working out as well, and that's a way you can keep me, right? So, what do you
Mhm.
think about that? Like, if you get in a relationship, I think, okay, I want to say this. I don't think women understand how important it is for them to keep themselves in shape being in a relationship with a man.
That's a part of relationship too. And it's about fitness. So if you coming into the relationship, she's know that you're in the fitness, she should want to do that too. you know not just because you're doing it, that's because that's going to benefit her as well.
Right.
you know she should be wanting to do it, and I bet you can be able to give her some ideas, certain
Mhm.
things, eating,
Right.
there's certain things to do that
Mhm.
will better her. It's not the, you're not going to be doing anything to harm her. This is something that's going to get her to flourish.
Exactly. Right. So my thing is like, why are well, you couldn't answer that, right? Why women would be resist? Well, maybe you can. Why
I
women would
could.
be? Why would women be resistant to that?
Because they feel there's nothing's wrong with them. They feel like they don't need nothing. They're perfect. You know what I'm saying? And everyone has work that they have to work on.
Hmm.
Everybody has some type of work on
Hmm.
to work. I'm sorry, to work on. So a lot of the women might feel like, oh, I don't need to work out. I'm skinny. I'm skinny. I don't need to work out. But you don't understand. It's not about that. It's about being fit and healthy.
Right.
On top of that,
Longevity.
exactly,
Yep. Yep.
exactly.
And the perk to that is looking good.
I'll tell you that. That's
Because
Yeah.
real.
if you yeah.
If
And
Hmm.
you look
I've
good, you
been
feel good.
myself, because I was almost 500 pounds, and I lost 200 of it.
Wow.
And now I'm like, I'm going like this, like a yo-yo, up and down.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I've seen a lot of stuff, YouTube. I've been doing the knowledge to you. And I
Hmm.
was like, okay. So you coming out with things, so I don't understand why any woman wouldn't want fitness. Fitness, that is like, that's gonna save your life. That's gonna get you, add years onto your life.
Right. Exactly.
And your mind too. It helps your mind too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so much better. I know that when I lost the weight, I felt so much better.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So much better. It was like even a mental thing. It was like, oh, I can move around a lot better. I can do this, I can do that. Certain food. And a lot of people feel like they also is eating. They feel like what they're eating is fine. There's certain things with the colorings in the food. Colorings in the food, colorings in the drinks. A lot of people don't know that. Especially some people in our nation don't know that either.
Right. Right.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I want to go now into the questions. Can you provide an overview of the 5% nation and its core, I'm going to quote unquote beliefs to our listeners who may not be familiar with? it?
Okay. So basically, the 5% Nation was founded by a law. People call him father-in-law. I don't not gonna like, oh, call him, call him this. I understand who he is. And basically, the lessons was given to us so that we can be able to view the world and be able to navigate through life with the lessons that are given to us.
Mm-hmm.
We teach the babies, though they are more important because they're the future. So when we are not here physically, they're the ones who's going to be stepping up and to bring forth the truth into the world.
That's beautiful. That's peace.
Right, exactly.
Um, I have a question to ask. What is the significance of women within the 5% Nation, and how are they viewed in terms of empowerment and leadership roles?
Okay. Well, the Earths and the Nation, I do know some sisters there. We have nurses. We have nurses here. We have doulas. So I will say there's a lot of sisters here who are working in empowerment um of health,
Mm-hmm.
and also there's we got lawyers. There's so many. So it's not to say that we are viewed as women who are able to add on to the nation, because that's what we're here for. We're here to add on.
Right, right, exactly.
Exactly.
All right. How do women in a 5% nation navigate and contribute to the discussions surrounding knowledge, wisdom, understanding within their communities?
Okay. So there's a lot of sisters. We sit, and some of them do active things in their communities. Myself, I'm trying to get something together where I can get young girls and young men and to teach them how to sew, because it's sewing and all that other stuff. It's not gender based. It's anyone, because I've seen men crochet, and
Mm-hmm.
they did a good job, and it inspired me. I was like, oh, I want to make this. So the community is very important because that's where you are. So you should be able to sit there and be able to spread amongst. It's just going about that.
Right.
That's beautiful, man. That's peace. And that's a fact what she says, because home economics were taken out of school, like stuff
It
like that.
was.
So that's important.
It's a lot of stuff being taken out of schools. So that's why we
Exactly.
have to. It's like my son, he's in school learning something else, and when he comes home, we have to teach him the real that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he step
Mhm.
out of the world, it's nothing. I told him, I said, it's this world is beautiful. It's a beautiful
Mhm.
place. It's the people in it,
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
and you have to be able to know who's
Right.
right for you, who's wrong for you. There's people who want to
Exactly.
be with you for a season. There's people who want to be with you forever.
Exactly. You just gotta know you gotta know yourself.
Right.
Exactly, it's true.
That's the
So
answer right there. Go ahead, go ahead.
I have another question. So this question, I would say, would you say that the nation of gods and earths is predominantly gods?
No, now cipher.
Mm.
I will say there are a lot of guys. However, I will say the brothers do have women. They have women as far as earths. Um, People always say, "Oh, there's a handful of earths." However, what I was speaking to someone earlier. The brothers, if you have a girlfriend, if you have more than one woman, whatever the case may be, bring her around or have her add on with a sister, because maybe she just need to see that other side. She doesn't know because all she see, is brothers around. She's like, well, where's the sisters? And that's how I was
Mm-hmm.
coming around. I was looking around for Earths. That's what I was looking for. Just like Earths. I was like, Earths, 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 Earths. I was going crazy, crazy, but I was able to build with them. So um I feel like they're, as far as God, you see a lot of brothers, but I see that they have women,
Mm-hmm.
whether they call them the queen of earth, they might not bring them around. We
Mm-hmm.
don't know what's going on in their ciphers. So, and technically, if you see an overall, you may see more gods than earths. If you go to a rally,
Right.
you may see more gods than earths.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't technically, I don't want to say, oh, this is a nation of gods, because it's both of us. We're both here.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is it predominantly gods? Predominantly. You don't want to say
I
that.
don't. I don't want to say. I don't want to say. Even though, like I said, you could be around and you see a lot of sea of gods, but I have no earths in different areas. You
Ah.
know, so
Mhm,
you might not see them at a rally
mhm.
because one lives in California or one lives in Detroit. So
Right.
it's there's sisters. We're here. We're all over.
Mhm,
You know, so it's just the more so of you might not see them. And there's the women that are doing things in their communities too. They're doing that as well.
mhm. Got you. Got you. Got you.
I have a question then. Can you share some examples of prominent women figures or leaders within the 5% Nation and their impact on the movement?
Okay. Well, there's been a couple older sisters. They have returned. Some of the sisters, I didn't really get to build with her much. Her name is Wisdom Understanding, which is why I got understanding of my name from her.
Mm.
Yes, I'm not sure if you are familiar with Wisdom Understanding. She was
I
in New
think I've
York,
heard.
and
She
yes,
from
she was the
Philly?
one of the old. She was the eldest Earth before she returned in the nation.
Is she from Philly or Jersey?
I believe she was from New York, and then she
Oh,
moved to Philly.
okay.
If I'm not mistaken, she moved from Philly, and I was also listening to her before she returned. If Mega had a whole like a build on her, and she was just like so beautiful. The words, the advice that she gave, there's a lot of stuff that stuck with me.
Mm,
So we have Wisdom Understanding. Um, we have couple other sisters, Queen Cipher from New York,
mhm.
and she's Dumar's sister.
Okay.
Yes, and she was a strong sister in the nation as well. So there's sisters that's here. Again, I don't know all of the sisters, but the ones that I've encountered or have built with,
Mhm,
I got pieces of history from them because I haven't been around long. So what I do when I build with them, first things I ask is, how was the nation back when you started? How was the refinement?
mhm,
Things like that. So I feel like I've been there. When they tell me that, I put myself back in history. When they were telling me about the standing, you couldn't sit down. Everybody was standing up in the auditoriums. I mean, at Harry and Tubman. So yeah, we
yeah.
got to get back to that.
So well now we're not in Harriet Tubman anymore. But anyway, like you said, like we got to get back to that. It's not about the place; it's about the mindset and the
Is that
actions, right?
indeed?
Uh, so now I was asked a question a while back. Why don't you ever why don't you get with any of the Earths? Why don't you marry a Earth or well we don't we do deal with marriage, but don't whatever, right? Depending on who you're talking to. Um, Now people ask me why don't you ever get with the Earth, right? And I normally say
Mm,
it's because a lot of the Earths already have gods,
that could be true. You can draw up a Earth
right? Meaning draw up a Earth
from out.
from the world,
Exactly.
if you will.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to tell you that's one of the
Tough job.
hardest things. That's one of the hardest things to do.
I know. I know. I really salute the brothers who do. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's very hard.
So wouldn't it would be so much easier
Mm,
if you could just get Earth. But it
that's
but
true.
but it's just the way the nation is set up.
Mm,
Most of the Earths have gods. They come to the knowledge of themselves through other gods and stuff like that. So
mm.
I just was asking you that because somebody asked me that. So I just wanted to make mention of that. Um, Another question is that how long have you been a part of the 5% Nation of Gods and Earths?
Well, this is a little story. I was all ready to tell it. Well,
Mhm.
I was 13 years old. I'm gonna start from the knowledge stage. I was 13 years old. My brother, he's God. He returned last year. His name is True,
Oh,
and
True.
I'll never forget.
my
I was
condolences.
sitting in. Thank you. I was sitting in the room, and he was like, "I can't go outside. I can't go outside." And I'm like, "Why you can't go outside?" He's like, "I study my lesson." He was like, "I'm not. If I'm not, I'm be in a lot of trouble." I'm like, I'm like, "What you said? Study a lesson? You gonna be in trouble?" But I didn't know what that was all about, and I didn't know that I was around a lot of guys because I was young then. I'm a young woman. listening to all, listening to this, going to high school, middle school. I didn't know. So um, that was that. And what happened was my brother, he was in and out of, jail. So I looked up to him. So I feel like I could have then, if I had the knowledge then, I'd have been, in a much better position. But I'm here. So what happened was around 2017, that's when I really first started, I got my mathematics and my alphabets and started learning from there. So we say about 7 years.
Oh, that's peace.
Yeah,
Wow.
7 years.
Nah,
God is okay.
I didn't know
I mean,
that.
5 years.
I didn't know that.
Mhm.
Yep,
Wow, that is peace.
I was gonna add on to the prior to what you was to explain the story how you got introduced into the nation to pull a sister from the world. Some of them already have a misconception when it comes to the anything that's cloaked under the name of Islam. They have a misconception thinking that, oh, I gotta be submissive in a certain way. I gotta walk 5 feet behind my man from what they've been taught. So,
Mhm,
that's the add on to what brother Ron was saying. You understand? And to teach them that, yeah, I remember a lot of them come from different backgrounds, especially like if it's like a strong Christianity background,
that's true.
they
yeah,
already have a stigma. Like I
yeah.
don't want to be associated with that.
Mhm.
And to add a little light humor, I'm saying we probably need to start a NGE dating service. Just joking. Don't kill me.
Yo, no joke, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Dating
Yo,
app.
that could really help other brothers and sisters. No,
It
because
it
sisters.
it could it could,
You know?
as I was saying, there are women. I know there's brothers that have sisters. They might not know, too much or been around other earths. Um, I always say because myself, when I came into the knowledge, I didn't, I did not have a God. That was another thing. I came into the knowledge because social media, and not only that, one of my friends, she was she was dropping mathematics, and I was like, what's that? I was like, and it sound familiar, and I was like, from my brother. So I was like, what's that, queen? And so she was breaking it down. I was like, so how I can get this information? She's like, you gotta find an educator. And I appreciate her for that. Because she could have been like, oh, let me show you the way. But she said you have to get an educator.
Mhm,
And from there, I've just been, been adding on. I will say, a lot of women, they just don't know about it. Some of them, they gotta, they don't understand um the concept of the knowledge. Some of them, they may do it because, they with a brother
mhm,
and he introduces her to the knowledge. And some of them may not, they hear the black man is God and they're like, oh God, because they're so used to whatever other religions that they are into,
mhm,
and they feel like that's it's kind of clashing with their beliefs.
mhm, mhm,
So I always say, as far as like the Christians, um I feel like it's like, how would you disrespect the black man if you're going to church and you're listening to another man and you come home and tell him what another man told you?
mm,
It's like, I feel that is being a disrespect. Like, the pastor said this, they come home like, how was church? Oh, the pastor, he broke everything down.
mhm.
And your man is right there, you know?
Right,
He's right there. You shouldn't be speaking to a pastor with your man's there, and he's the one who's the head of the house.
right. It's a
So it's a lot, and like I said, it's a lot of reconditioning we have to do
mhm,
as far as women, because once again, right now we got a lot going on as far as between the music, this cause I'm seeing like the BBLs and all these liftings and all of
mhm.
this other stuff. I'm like, what? You was made natural.
Right.
You don't need any of that add on. Go work out. You know what I'm saying? Here we go. The gym. Because if you're consistent, you should see results. But some of them don't want the consistency. They just want a easy way out. Like, oh, let me pay this, and it's money too. It's like $10,000, like 15, $20,000 to get a BBL or breast lift
Mm.
and all of that other stuff going on. Why don't you just, go to the gym? So everything is just like changing. You
They
know,
don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
they don't. They don't.
They're responsible. Like if you want that, you go outside and go find it. And
And
a
then it
brother,
makes it bad because for a sister like me being heavy, and I'm looking at a woman and she's all toned and fit, not knowing that she went to the Dominican Republic and got surgery done, and having us think that she did it on her own. And that's gonna lead another person. She like, oh well, I want to get it, I want to get that too, since she did not put in the hard work,
Right.
you
Right.
know.
Now, before we go into more questions, I'm going to ask a question on top of the more questions. So, uh, um, your head wrap, right?
Yes.
Now, there are different styles. The Earths wear their head wrap a certain particular way. Now, I'm looking at one, and then
Mhm.
I've seen another one. So, are there two or three types of wraps?
To be honest, head wrap is a head wrap. I'll either have it this way. I might have it with a bun in the front.
Mm-hmm.
Might have it up high.
Right.
So there's different styles of a head wrap. Now, to make it more, because it's not saying this is plain, but it's there's different things on YouTube, and they show you how to wrap your hair and do it wrap a certain way to make it look nice. So I feel
So,
like it's
Earth
different
have
ways.
videos on that?
It's actually it's just head wrapping
Oh, okay. Okay.
tutorials. I was
Gotcha.
thinking about doing one myself, just
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. I think
Doing
you
some hair
should.
wrapper tutorials, because it's because it's a good thing to want to like preserve yourself. And it's not like my God, I was building with him. He said it's not what's on, it's what's in your head.
Hmm.
It's what's in there. And because
Yeah.
anybody can wear a head wrap. We could walk down the street. I'll see all these women with head wraps, but then their mouth is, you know,
Crazy. Yeah. Saying, yeah.
yes, definitely.
Yeah. Low wisdom.
None at all.
that's a fact. Long on hair, short on sense.
Yeah.
That's true. Mhm.
So now I want to go into can you share some examples? Oh, we already went into that. What challenges or obstacles have women historically faced within the 5% nation, and how have these challenges been addressed or overcome?
Well, I haven't been around too long. I could just build on what I've known since I've been here. A
Hmm.
lot of it is coming together, the sisterhood of the nation, um, because we have sisters over here, we have sisters over there. Um, as far as us all getting together, that is something that could be challenging. Um, a lot of sisters, it may be like a competition. They may feel like competing against each other. That's a lot that's going on, and that's pretty much it causes a hinder in the nation because we are the ones who are with the babies. We are the ones who's the nurturers.
Hmm.
So when we're not together and we're like, having side conversations or someone talking about that person,
Hmm.
time's going by. These
Right.
babies is growing up. You turn around, they're like 20 years old. Like, what happened to the time?
Hmm.
So it's a lot of the sisterhood, and I've also built with a couple sisters that that's a lot that we need to start working on.
That's a fact. That's a fact. In what ways does the 5% nation promote education, self awareness, and improvement among women?
Okay. Well, as far as that, there are herbs who actually there's gonna be a Zoom meeting with one of the sisters about empowerment within the sisters, and they are earths. So I feel that that's something good. That's like a first step to
Hmm.
having more builds where we can see the other sisters adding on and bringing more awareness so that we can be able to take that and be able to present that to our communities so that
Hmm.
we can help grow.
That's peace. I got one. How does a nation, how does the philosophy of the 5% nation influence gender dynamics, relationships within the community?
Okay, what you mean by
You
dynamics?
know how the world will say the role of a man should be this, the role of a woman should be that. And
Mm,
sometimes it get misconstrued where, it's just they go by gender roles.
mm.
Mhm.
Well, as far as the man and the woman, we have our own roles to
Yeah.
do. For instance, the man is the foundation. He's the head. The woman is the nurturer. Um, and that sometimes may get construed. Sometimes the woman wants to be the man, you know, and you can't have two men in the house.
Nah,
It's not gonna be too good,
not
and
gonna work.
especially when you have the babies around. You don't want them to see that, and they're gonna think that you don't want it. No,
Right.
I know. So it's a lot of like I said before, reconditioning, because we've been through a lot. The black man been through a lot. The black woman been through a lot. We need to um start to reprogram ourselves to get back to how we were when we was all together, and it was the black love. Remember that they had the whole black love thing going on. Everything was beautiful, and then now it's like I said, I was seeing the podcast. They going back and forth, man and woman fighting like back and forth.
Yep. 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 Yep.
Lack of respect for one another. One
Yeah,
like with the concept of love, right? Pardon me. There cannot be you cannot have dependency and domination in love. I don't want to dominate you, vice versa. I don't want dependency in the sense of, well, you feel like you can't function without me, or vice versa. It has
Mm.
to be equally yoked, as my brother Ron say. Like we have to complement one another.
Right.
You understand? We are teams. I against them. I against us against the universe. We got to
and
be
that's
one.
that's true. And to be honest, we are the universe. It's the man, woman,
Right.
child, sun,
Yeah,
moon, and stars. We come together in perfect alignment.
yeah.
Right.
You and I verse.
That's
Yeah,
how it's supposed to be. You
yeah.
know,
Yep.
it's definitely.
Exactly. And I want to add one more thing. Is people like to use that word compromise. I'm against that word, the compromise.
I think I
You
said that
know,
a
well, I
little
think
earlier.
the concept is understanding. Because
That's true.
once we have understanding, we don't have to compromise. You get what I'm saying? I don't have to feel like I lost something or you lost something. Gotta have understanding, but
Mhm.
And love is the highest degree of understanding.
that's a
It
fact.
is.
Thank you. Yeah,
It's the highest. And
exactly.
love is not like love. People take love over lust. They take it
Yeah,
the wrong way, or love is the product of knowledge and wisdom together.
yeah,
So a
Mhm.
lot of people don't know, to be honest, don't know what love is.
yeah,
They think
exactly.
it's something physical. A lot of it, oh, you don't love me. A lot
Mhm.
of it physical.
You didn't hold
Um,
my hand.
I see her holding. I see them. Let's do it too. That
Mhm.
means you don't love. You don't love you, and
Mhm.
that's not it. It's
Mm,
something I heard of. Unconditional love, and that's
Right.
something that I'm learning. Um,
mm,
and that's deep. A lot of people say, "Oh, I have love with conditions." Um, you have to love people unconditionally. Because at the end of the day, they have their own lives, and they bring you into their lives, and you get to know who they are, and certain things you might not agree with.
Mhm.
um that doesn't mean that you don't love them, but that unconditional love is you
exactly.
understand them.
Right.
This
Right.
is beautiful. This is beautiful. I appreciate you for coming on.
No problem.
It's real. Like this is real.
I'm
What advice
excited to be here, actually.
as peace, sir?
Uh,
I wanted to make mention of this. Your demeanor is
Yeah,
like it's true and living earth.
yeah.
Like
I
Sets the
appreciate
tone
that.
like it's peaceful.
yeah,
Like
like you could tell who's who
Mm,
yeah,
by the energy, you know what I'm saying? And
yes,
and the way they carry themselves.
yeah. It's
I
not
appreciate
combative.
that.
It's not
Mhm.
Well, it
combative.
came it ca- it co- it come with a lot of a process. I'm from New Jersey, so I'm from Newark, New Jersey, and we all know, Newark is pretty
Mhm,
rough.
Mhm.
My mother took us out of the hood, and she moved us further down New Jersey for us to
mhm.
have a better life of
Mhm.
living. So
Yeah,
it's The stuff I done seen so much between people getting shot, children shot, people dead on, on the ground. So that's a lot for someone, especially a woman, a young girl, to see that.
Hmm.
So it comes with a whole different level of, okay, this is what I went through. I don't have to keep going. I don't have to go through that, you know, growing older. I could be able to change that and change my way of thinking. So I felt this nation here, I say it's a beautiful thing. And people says, oh, and they want to say so much about the 5% nation. I'll be honest, this is the best thing I ever been in my life. As
Mm.
far as being able to use the mathematics and use the alphabets every day.
Every
I
day.
can go out into this world and I can see it, everything. You
Right.
know, and some man told me, and I can't remember. He didn't tell me. I was seeing on YouTube. I don't remember his name, and he was into um I think he's into numerology. He said he said 20 years ago, he said he'll give $100 to anybody who cannot use mathematics in a day. And he said it's been 20 years and he still got that $100 because
Hmm.
mathematics is all over.
Right.
Everything was made from mathematics. What you're looking at, what you're touching on, everything had a measurement to it.
Actual fact. Actual
So
fact.
this ain't nothing. I tell people, I was like, this is the best. And once you get to know it, because I know some people, when you get into the knowledge, my thing was the studying and going through degrees and quoting. And I wasn't right. And the guy might be like, oh, that's not right. I'm like, yes, it is right. Yes, it is. And it ain't right, Herb. I was like, what do you mean? I said it right. No, it's not. And get the paper and look, and it wasn't right.
Right.
You know? So that's another thing. Being able to be corrected and, not taking it personal. That's the thing about this
I
nation.
agree with
Yeah.
that. However, it's the way you do it though.
That's true.
Exactly.
It's the way you
That's
do
true.
it.
Yeah.
Especially when you're dealing with grown people.
Yeah.
Like I don't mind being corrected, but you can't disrespect me.
Right.
That's right.
But
That's
what if you
disrespect.
what if you're doing it in like and I respect what Ron's saying. What if you're doing it in a proper context? Because people tend to what people don't understand what the lessons, right? From what I've read and studied it's all about working on yourself.
That's why I call it knowledge of self.
Yeah.
It's not
So
knowledge of somebody. It's not for somebody else. It's for you.
Right.
This is
so
what you got
so
to carry.
so a lot of people may steer away from it or not want to pick it up is because accountability. People don't want to deal with accountability because
They're
it
afraid.
gives you, yeah, because they rather they want to point the finger. So that's real. So I salute you for
That's true.
that.
A lot of people don't want to take accountability or want to, like they said, they don't want to be led in the right direction. It's hard to be led
Right.
Hmm.
in the right direction because they like, oh, they're so used to doing this. Oh, well, I have to give up pork. Oh, well, I have to do this. Oh, it's something that some people just don't want to be able to work on.
Hmm.
And then there's some of them, where we're here, so it's something that we seen and we wanted to change within
Right.
ourselves.
What advice or insight would you give to young women interested in learning more about the 5% nation and possibly becoming involved?
Mm.
To Yeah, that's a deep one. I would say have an open mind. Don't don't be closed off to what's being presented to you as far as the knowledge is concerned because it's a change. It's a whole change. It's nothing like how it is being in a dead world. This is something that's being this is the light that's gonna help you, help you achieve success in life. So I always say, I said, I love the knowledge. This is the best thing that's happened to me. And if you want to change, if you know that what you're doing right now is not where you're supposed to be, then it's not where you're supposed to be.
Mm.
You have to be able to take that change and to not sit there like, oh, well, this is I don't think this is good. And there's a lot of sisters when I came around, I was embraced with love. And that's another thing. Um if a brother brings a sister around, that we, us as the earths who are already here, should embrace them
Mhm.
because they say, how they say, the first impression is everything.
Mhm.
You can come into the nation or maybe go around to a rally and the sisters may be looking at the woman because I've seen it.
Mhm.
The sisters might be looking at them, funny or this way, and they might feel uncomfortable and might not want to be a part of the nation just because of that. So I always say just embrace the women who come here and just help them as much as you can being the earth in this nation because there's a lot of things that will help them and help you too. Just like the our equality, which you want to desire for your brother or sisters, what you want and desire for yourself. And a
Mhm.
lot of people are not doing that. People are being greedy with knowledge. They don't want to share.
Which I don't understand. That what's that about?
Me neither. I don't either. I don't, and I've seen it. And I've seen it. And I feel like if everyone put their knowledge together, what you know, we come together, so much can go on.
Mhm.
So much. Because everyone's, like I said, the best knower. There's somebody that's the best knower of something.
Right.
And that's we all come together, everybody put in, their add on, and it could really be much more as far as like we do need more women and children. We need more women and children here. We need the babies. We need the women, you know. So
Yep.
that is definitely something that um I definitely see that it can definitely happen. But we just gotta love each other. We have to love each other more. We have to
Exactly.
come together more. Um, not sit there and fighting and
Social media.
social media has become from
The
what I remember
ghetto.
one of the older earths told me it's the devil's playground. That's what she said.
It
She
is.
said it's
It's
the devil's
ghetto.
playground.
One
And you can do
one thing one thing I want to make mention of is as you said, when newborns come around or people may be interested come around, maybe they get looked at a certain way or what have you. I want to make mention of this, right? We're dealing with our people. Our people have come from hell
Exactly.
and they're trying to come out right. So they come to the nation
mm,
Hmm.
for the knowledge of themselves. So we should welcome them with open arms and be warm, and with full of love for them to come around and build with them and treat them like family because they really are.
Mm.
that's true. I'm sorry.
So I just want to
That's
make that
true.
point there.
That's
As far as now, I want to talk about this, right?
mm.
We got this. I would say it's no longer a problem as it was. Like I would say maybe like 5 years ago. Like the goddess talk, the goddess talk. So
Woo.
of course we don't advocate, you know, women calling themselves the goddess. Uh,
There's one God, and it's the black man. So
I'm telling you, that question is controversial because depending on the culture,
exactly.
where you coming from, like from outside of the nation of gods and earth, there are other cultures that do deal with the divine, feminine, and the goddess aspect. You go back to Egyptology and all that extra stuff.
mhm.
But I get respect each person within their house. It is what it is. So let's just leave it
It's
like
just
that.
it comes here and
Yeah.
then
Yeah, and the nation is God and earth. And for me, and the way I see it is that God in its essence, uh in its essence, is a masculine title. It's masculine. So how are you gonna diss on him? What is that? That's a hermaphrodite right there.
well
God is.
that's how some women like, oh, I don't need no man. And that's the when they get into the goddess thing. I don't need no man.
Mhm.
I'm a goddess. Yes, we
Yeah,
do. We
that's
do.
that's the mentality. Mike, you look at you laughing at me. I
No,
got that.
no, no, no. Cause I'm just laughing. My brother Ron though, because got love for my brother, man. He's a good guy, a good brother. But like I explained that to him, it's different cultures that you know that
I
they
understand that. I
yeah.
understand that.
But then if you go into the Bible when they said let's make man in our image, and the whole story taking the rib from the man. Some people will argue that, okay, if they took the rib from the man, we still have an even amount of ribs, and the woman was made to be the helpmate and X, Y, and Z. Let's just leave it at that. But in other cultures, you have energies. Like I don't know if you have knowledge of the say for talk about voodoo or Santeria, they got different feminine energies, divinities that they deal with. Some of them may come from that perspective, like
But let me
I'm,
ask you this: even if we go into that,
yeah,
talking about Ogun and all of that.
yeah,
From what I know,
mhm,
the man is still a man, or the masculine energy is the masculine energy, and the
Mhm.
feminine energy is the feminine energy.
yeah. But they answer
It's
to one
like
God.
that.
Yeah, yeah. So that's where it comes from. That that concept of not all goddesses think like that, but that concept of woman not wanting a man. That's that feminism thing, and that was something that was not made for our people. That was something that the European women were dealing with.
Mhm.
They have rights against their men.
Mhm.
Our people just wanted to follow along. Not all, but some wanted to take on that burden as well.
And they took us down when they started the feminist movement. They said, "Hey, let's get the black woman. She was doing good in the family home and the family, the
Mm.
man who was all together. Let's put this in the mix."
'Cause
Mhm.
let's keep it real. Before that feminine movement came about, no disrespect, they had both our black asses in the field working.
Or in
You
the
understand?
house.
So I don't know where that concept came from because I think people are conflating that whole concept of what's taking place. Coming from single parent homes,
Yeah. Yeah.
men not doing their part and whatever. So they saying, yeah, why should I need a man? So she walks around being angry. He's damaged himself, and
Mhm.
there you go. That's what we have going on today.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's
So,
true.
what I want to know, right, is like, the way you are, right, the way you are. I see you just the way you carry yourself online, uh, the way you are right now in person is the same person online, right? Now, how did you get here? You get what I'm saying?
I'm sorry. I was supposed to laugh about that. I was supposed to laugh about that or not.
Now, how did you get to this point where you are the true and living earth, the way you carry yourself?
I'm still a work in progress.
Mhm.
I'm be honest. I'm
That
still
would be an answer a true and living earth would give.
I'm a
That
work in
is.
progress. I'm definitely am. But
Mhm.
every day I try to strive to do better than the last. That's all I try to do.
Right. Well, I'm asking because, did you get any kind of training, or did it just come from just being around, like you mentioned I think your grandmother, you had
There's a
maybe
lot.
a
I think that helped me. She helped me with manners. I grew up having manners. That kind of started, like you were saying, the MGT and GCC.
yeah.
She gave me a book. I'll never forget. It was a book of manners, like say please, say thank you, and I to this day I carry that with me. Even I teach my sons, my daughter. They say please. They come to me. They be like, your children are so well mannered, and it's funny because I'm like, are they not supposed to be?
Mhm.
Exactly.
You know. And then some of the some white people, I'll be in a store and my sons are being well mannered. They're like, oh my god, he has good manners. I'm like, he's supposed to.
Hmm.
That's just how it is.
Right.
But yeah, it's I'm definitely a work in progress. It's not easy. Um, certain things I see I don't agree with online.
Yeah.
I don't agree with at all. And I just want it to become a lot better, like how they said it was back in the 90s. Because like I said, my brother had the knowledge. I didn't get that experience, but I know some of you had
Mhm.
that experience with being in the ciphers and the the Harriet Tubman's pact. You see is the
Hmm.
babies, you see the women, you see the guys, everything. So I really want us to get back to that. And I
What
call and I build with the sisters and ask them, how was that back then? What was y'all doing as sisters? Not that's nothing. And that helped me too, building with other sisters who've been in the nation for a long time. Because me being new, I'm not sure. Just like I said earlier, I was looking online to see if I could find Earth's building so that it could help me understand what the Earth's role was in the nation.
you-
What's so beautiful how you say that is sisterhood is what's needed to hold each other accountable. Because, and I love your answer of you saying that you're still a work in progress.
yeah.
Because not too many will say that, because I think it just your energy from seeing that,
Mm.
like it's like, I don't know personally, but you don't sense that insecurity. Like, so most sisters have that, they had to be on defense all the time and everything else. It's like you're
And you know
confident.
what? You look happy.
Yeah.
I'm always smiling all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have like a face like
And that's the thing. Some of the sisters like this. They like,
yeah,
like I always said, you crinkle up your face, it don't look pretty. You like it
yeah,
you don't look pretty, like your face crinkling up and you're looking so
yeah,
angry and you look sad and it's like it doesn't look good on you.
Right.
yeah. Looking
So a
like
lot
crushed
of it,
linen,
yeah, a
wrinkled
lot of it has to
linen.
be like it's a mindset because to go from to think from negative to positive is not something that happens overnight.
Yeah.
You have to keep working at it because
Yeah.
people are going to try you.
Right.
Mhm.
They're going to try you
Right.
every day. You be like, oh, I'm having a good day. Here comes somebody, starting some. But just because I always say you don't have to wait till tomorrow to start your day over. You
Hmm.
can
Yeah.
start your day wherever you feel like that point when something's gonna go left. You can always change that and just
Control
keep
your
on keep
thoughts.
going.
Controlling your thoughts.
Exactly.
And that's a problem. A lot. Now, I don't want to come off sounding chauvinistic because men do it too, and sisters, walk around like it's not controlling their thoughts. Idle minds, idle time. Because you're gonna walk
Because an idle
around.
mind is the devil's time.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna be on some, facing, not resolving your past traumas, and you're expecting others to do it for you instead of doing it
Exactly.
yourself.
Right.
It doesn't work like that.
That's true. It has a lot of work, and that's why I said it's you have to. And the knowledge of that's why I said it's knowledge of self. It's not. It's more like it's nothing to be. Oh, let me just get the knowledge so I can be pleasing to such and such or whoever. Like you have to one because when that person's gone and you're in your room by yourself or wherever, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna go back to the person that's the way you were, or are you striving to become better?
Right. Right. Now, Earth, I want you to tell the people about your business, what you got going on, and how to find you if they need a crown, if they need, something to wear,
Okay. All right. Well, I have it called Fit for a God Crowns. However, I'm also doing not just for gods. I make head wraps. I crochet anything. If somebody say, "Hey, could you crochet a shirt or something?" That's something that I'm interested in doing. So it's more so for everyone. However, for the gods, I've started making crowns in 2020. I think it was around the time COVID hit.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was around the time, and I still remember my first picture. That crown, I was working on it for hours. I broke day making one crown. I was like, I'm gonna get it right. And I posted it. And everybody was supporting me, and I was like, it's ugly. And some people bought it too, and they was like, I want it, I want it. And I was like, really? Because my thought of making crowns, it wasn't because for money. It was for the love and to give back. That's how that started. I didn't know it was gonna be how it was. Now how it is now, I was just because it was like something I want to do. It's
Hmm.
COVID, we locked down. So I'd rather do something productive.
Right.
So that's how that started. Um I have a Facebook, Fit for God Crowns, and Instagram is fit underscore for underscore a underscore God. It's all underscore. So after every word, it's an underscore. Is my Instagram.
Wait, hold on. So it's
Okay, it's fit underscore
fit
the number four
underscore.
underscore a underscore God underscore crowns. Let me just make sure I'm right. I'm checking now. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I got.
Because I'm like, all
I'm
these
on it right
underscores.
now.
I'm
I
like,
just.
my brain, you see it? I
Yeah,
got all those underscores on there.
yep, I just got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just followed you just now.
Yep, that's me.
So everybody out there is fit underscore number 4 underscore a underscore God underscore crowns. If y'all didn't catch that, and also follow me on Ron Brown LMT. That's why I have it up there, so you can see it. Ron Brown LMT. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram.
Yeah.
Mikey Fever. Mikey Fever 718 or Mikey Fever NYP. He's on Instagram.
That's a fact. And for those who do watch, I'm also on TikTok at Sour Mickey. Yeah.
TikTok might be over.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I was because they said they think they don't want they're not sure if China is spying.
Hmm.
I was like, oh wow.
Whatever.
But don't we owe
Uh-oh.
China? Well, not we, United States.
Yeah.
Owe
Yeah.
China about trillions of dollars.
Yeah. They
Uh-oh.
have their reasons.